بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Before we begin, don't forget to visit IqraSense.com to get free Islamic knowledge. Also, you can get a number of IqraSense books from Amazon.com and its related international sites. Just search for IqraSense, IqraSense, and you will be able to see the popular Islamic collection of books.
In this episode, we will ponder over the last few verses of Surah Yaseen. These verses of the Quran were revealed at the time when non-believers of Mecca asked the Holy Prophet that how could they become alive after they die. In response, in these verses, Allah asks these people how they came into being for the first time. Allah mentions that it is not difficult for Him to do such things, and that He is omnipotent, powerful, and supreme, and none can equal Him. He is the Master who gives orders and commands that are to be fulfilled. In Mecca, addressing to the Holy Prophet, the chiefs of the disbelievers of Mecca were constantly carrying out campaigns of vilification against the Prophet. However, they knew in their hearts and acknowledged in their private assemblies that the charges they brought against him were absolutely baseless. In order to create suspicions against him in the minds of the people, they branded him as a poet, magician, madman, etc., but their conscience recognized, and they also acknowledged before one another that whatever they were uttering was false, which they were forging only to frustrate the Prophet's mission. That is why Allah says to His Prophet earlier in this surah, in the Quran, "Do not grieve at their absurd and meaningless talk." According to the sayings related by Ibn Abbas, Qatada, and Sa'id bin Jubair, one of the chiefs of Mecca on this occasion came up with a rotten bone of a dead person from the graveyard. He broke and crushed the bone into pieces before the Holy Prophet and scattered it in particles in air, and said, "O Muhammad, you say that the dead will be raised back to life. Tell us, who will give life to these decayed and rotten bones?" The answer was given immediately in the form of these Quranic verses. Here are the verses in Arabic, followed by the translation and interpretation of those verses.
أَوَلَمْ يَرَ الْإِنسَانُ أَنَّا خَلَقْنَاهُ مِن نُّطْفَةٍ فَإِذَا هُوَ خَصِيمٌ مُّبِينٌ وَضَرَبَ لَنَا مَثَلًا وَنَسِيَ خَلْقَهُ قَالَ مَن يُحْيِي الْعِظَامَ وَهِيَ رَمِيمٌ قُلْ يُحْيِيهَا الَّذِي أَنشَأَهَا أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ خَلْقٍ عَلِيمٌ الَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُم مِّنَ الشَّجَرِ الْأَخْضَرِ نَارًا فَإِذَا أَنتُم مِّنْهُ تُوقِدُونَ أَوَلَيْسَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ بِقَادِرٍ عَلَىٰ أَن يَخْلُقَ مِثْلَهُم بَلَىٰ وَهُوَ الْخَلَّاقُ الْعَلِيمُ إِنَّمَا أَمْرُهُ إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا أَن يَقُولَ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونُ فَسُبْحَانَ الَّذِي بِيَدِهِ مَلَكُوتُ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ وَإِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ.
Does not man see that we have created him from nutfa, which is semen drops? Yet behold, he stands forth as an open opponent. And he puts forth for us a parable, and forgets his own creation. He says, "Who will give life to these bones after they are rotten and have become dust?" Say, "O Muhammad, He, Allah, will give life to them, who created them for the first time, and He is the all-knower of every creation. He who produces for you fire out of the green tree, when behold, you kindle therewith. Is not He who created the heavens and the earth able to create the like of them? Yes, indeed, He is the all-knowing, supreme Creator. Verily, His command, when He intends a thing, is only that He says to it, 'Be,' and it is. So glorified be He, and exalted above all that they associate with Him, and in whose hands is the dominion of all things. And to Him you shall be returned." Now for some reflection on the above verses. In these verses, Allah chides those who in their insolence doubt the concept of resurrection on the day of judgment. The verses makes us to ponder upon our own creation and what we are created from. If we do it, we would be in awe of our Creator instead of daring to oppose the Almighty or doubting His word, the Quran. People commit the foolish blunder of using their own limited intelligence to draw conclusions about what can happen and what can't to oneself after death. Allah urges us to realize that He, the All-Powerful, is capable of bringing back to life a body that rots and becomes dust after death, just the way He created life and the body when it didn't even exist. Allah reminds us that these people came to life while at one time they did not exist. Thus, the All-Powerful is capable of bringing them back to life after their death. He knows how to create for the first time and to recreate again. The verses also give an example of the green tree drying up and being used as firewood. Allah gives this one example to highlight one of His infinite powers many times we don't pay attention to or take for granted. Since we can never comprehend how the heavens and the earth and all the creation came about, it rightly follows that we believe and trust the all-knowing Supreme Creator who just has to say be, and whatever He intends takes form. Allah speaks to us through the Quran in a manner that is suitable to our understanding. He asks a question to make us reflect and then answers it to clear any doubt anyone might have. And finally, when influenced by Satan, some people adopt a defiant attitude. Instead, they should realize that they possess the abilities bestowed by Allah to observe and think. Allah urges us to use these abilities to acknowledge the supremacy of the Lord of the worlds, to whom we eventually will return.
Lastly, don't forget to visit IqraSense.com and sign up to get free Islamic knowledge. Also, you can get a number of IqraSense books from Amazon.com and its related international sites. Just search for IqraSense, IqRaSense.